Hi guys, this is Brad again. Just wanted to let you know that I've been pre-approved for my loan, and today I want to talk to Robert Baker from the Credit Counseling here in Lawrence, and I'll have him introduce himself. That'll be easier to let him explain. We're going to talk a little bit about what it is to get credit and how to go about budgeting to be able to afford to buy your own home.
Hi, my name's Robert. I work for Housing and Credit Counseling, and we've always been a housing counseling agency. Brad is going through the land trust to get a condo, and we do all the budget counseling for that. We also provide some education materials for the classes that any home buyer has to attend. So a lot of that information on budgeting and credit we'll talk about today. And if you have any other questions, get in touch.
Can you explain, and we've talked about it before in my situation, can you explain in simple terms some of the easier way that people develop credit, or having some of the skills to learn how to save money?
Sure. Well, let's start with credit first, since you asked that first.
Yeah.
If you don't have a history of borrowing money and paying it back, you don't have a credit score.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when you're going to look for a house, the bank is going to pull a credit report. If you don't have a credit score or a credit history, they can't approve you for a loan.
And so it makes it that much harder to, not saying that you can get credit, but it just makes it that much harder.
Well, so what you'd want to do is start slow. What I like to say about credit is your credit history is like a trail of breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
And every time you pay a bill on time, if it's reported on a credit report, you're building up a good history and a good score, and that's what you need to get a loan. Now, you have to have somebody lend you money somewhere. So, first of all, the one thing you can do on your own, even if you don't have any money that you borrowed, is make sure you're paying your utility bills, your rent on time, because they're what is called secondary credit references. You can get a printout of your phone bill,
Yep.
even a cell phone bill, and take it to a bank and say, will you give me a small loan? Or use that maybe to get a credit card if you know you're not going to use it all the time.
Yeah.
You just want to use it to charge one or two things and pay it off, so now you have a history.
It's like what I have. I have two forms of credit cards. I have one that I've had for over 10 years. I'm not using it right now, but it's still not closed. And isn't that a good thing to do, is to leave them open to keep your credit looking?
Yeah, it's great to keep them open. The thing is, though, if you don't have a credit card right now, you're going to be shopping around for credit card offers. And sometimes the print on those offers are so small that you might want somebody to look it over first, because some of those offers come with instant fees that they charge you.
Yeah.
So if you don't trust yourself to get a card, or you don't know what's in those agreements, those offers that come, make sure you get somebody else to look it over. If you really don't trust yourself using a credit card, you could do something like go to a bank and buy a CD. Maybe at tax time, when you get your tax credits back in the mail, go and get a CD, which stands for Certificate of Deposit. Get a $500 CD, but make sure you put it in a bank where they offer what they call CD credit building loans, which means you're going to use your CD as collateral. Even if you don't have credit, the bank will say, well, you have $500 in the bank, we'll make you a $200 loan, because you've got the $500 to cover it. And then once you pay that loan back, as long as it's a bank that's reporting to the credit report, then you've got proof of borrowing money and paying it off on time, and you'll keep that open.
Yeah. And isn't it also good, because I've learned this also too, that even, I think I got this from one of in the first time home buyers class, if I remember, that even if you have one credit card and maybe make one simple purchase a month, no matter what it is, whether it be a tank of gas or a packet of bubble gum or just a few simple things, and then being able to show that you can pay off the balance every month or on time.
Absolutely true. That's what you want to show on a credit report, that somebody's lent you money and you're good about paying it on time or paying it off. And you might not even have to use it once a month. When I first came to town, I had no credit. So when I went to get a car loan, which doesn't cost as much as a home, no one would make me a loan. And I had to find a credit card that someone would offer me.
I didn't.
And no one would for a while, and finally a department store did. And I went in and I bought a pack of 3 pairs of socks because I needed them for work. And when the bill came in, I paid it off and cut up the card and left the account open. And voila, I had a credit history.
Yeah, a little bit of a good. I had the same thing.
Did you?
It took me, when I first started thinking about getting my first credit card, it took me a long time.
Yeah.
And to find one, and I finally did. I think it was because I was a long time consistent customer at the bank that I was at the time, and they finally offered me one. I think the first one, the first actual balance that I had on my credit on the card was $500, and then it went up from there. And now, over the years, now that my credit has been practically spotless, which it is, I get credit offers, get a couple every month, and the best thing to do, folks, is to throw them away. I mean, if you get too many credit card offers, I know I hear stories on the news where people say on average that a typical household has 8 credit cards or 6 or whatever it is. I could barely handle 2.
I wouldn't want to juggle 8 bills
and I
a
wouldn't
month.
even want 1, so even 1 is good. So that's why I keep one open. It's still active, but I don't use it. I've got 1 card that I use.
So that first card you got with the $500 credit limit, what's your credit limit now?
My credit limit now, and I've had to adjust it, is $2,000.
So every time you started using it successfully, every once in a while they want to up your limit, right? Because now they trusted you.
I've had my limit up as high as almost $10,000 at one time.
You know, I'm not sure you need me for this idea of credit building. You're throwing out some great suggestions. And if anybody banks someplace for a while, that would be the first place to go to see either about a loan or a credit card.
Yeah.
But again, know what those credit card terms are and that you can afford it.